Marathas to get 16% reservation in Maharashtra. This is the latest coming out on the Maratha quota row, with the Maharashtra government now taking this clear decision to give 16% reservation. Earlier, remember, the decision to give a reservation to the Marathas was arrived upon, but the exact figure or the quantum of reservation was not decided. Now the Maharashtra government has come out with a clear figure. It has announced a 16% reservation for the Marathas in government jobs. Disha is going to be joining us, I'm told, in just a bit. But this is big breaking news because this, of course, is going to be the culmination of the Maratha protest, pressing for the Maratha reservation for a very long time. Disha, over to you for more on this, please.
Well, at this point in time, what we know for the fact that the state government has proposed 16% of the reservation that the Maratha community were demanding for a very long time. The ATR, the Action Taken report, was just tabled in the Assembly a while back, and at around 1 p.m. they will introduce the Maratha quota bill. But the highlights that we have got, and in fact the state government has also confirmed that they have proposed 16% of the reservation for the community as far as the jobs and in education is concerned. So that is one of the biggest, relief, if at all, if it is passed in the assembly today with the majority. So this is what the Maratha community were demanding for a very long time, for jobs, for education purposes. So now we'll have to wait when this Maratha quota bill will actually be tabled in the assembly, because today then there will be a lot of viewpoints from the opposition, because it was very important to know the quantum of reservation that what the government was considering for the Maratha communities. But now it has been clear that the government indeed is very positive about giving the demands that the Maratha community had for a very long time.
Yes, so this is a major decision that has been taken by the Maharashtra government in this assembly session. Major parties in Maharashtra, such as Shiv Sena and the BJP, had directed that their members be present in the Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Council today when the draft bill for Maratha reservation is presented. And as we understand, that has taken place in the Assembly, and the quantum of reservation, as Disha is pointing out, has now been decided. It stands at 16% for the Marathas in the state of Maharashtra. So, tell us, Disha, that would this satisfy those who were pressing for a reservation for a very long time? Because the quantum, of course, is now decided. Any inputs that you have on whether this will be widely accepted or not among the Maratha community?
So a lot of Maratha agitators who have been really protesting at the Azad Maidan in the city of Mumbai, they were demanding 16% of the reservation. So now the government has proposed 16% of reservation for the community, which of course in a way will be a positive development for the community, because this is what they were demanding for a very long time. So they will be happy about what the government has really put forth for them as far as in jobs and education is concerned, because this was purely based on the basis of the Backward Class Commission report and the findings that of course a separate quota should be given to the Maratha community. So this is something that the government has proposed.
Yes, and like you rightly referred to, there was a detailed report presented on the social parameters of the Maratha community, and it was then concluded in that report that the community deserves a certain reservation. Following that report, the government had already announced a decision that a reservation will be announced. But then, of course, the quantum was not announced at that time, and today we hear that that proposal is also out. It is as per the demand, 16% for Marathas in the state of Maharashtra. Disha, if you can take our viewers through a little bit of the background to the story, because like you mentioned, the report that came out on the status of Marathas, quick pointers on that, please.
Well, that report made public, Afrida, especially for the people out here, because the government really feared that once the Backward Class Commission report would be made public, then of course there will be a lot of opposition views on it, and it might actually the Maratha reservation will never be able to become a bill or a law. So that is the reason today was the time when the government really tabled the report in the Assembly today. today. And very soon, we know for the fact they will also table the Maratha quota bill. So as far as the important findings were concerned, it was all related on the grounds of education and jobs as to what can be given to the Maratha community, because that was the most important as far as the education and job aspects are concerned. So we will come to know only at about 1 to 1:30 p.m. today, Afrida, when there will be a lot of discussion in the assembly between the opposition party and the government, and they will have a discussion about the findings that were there on that backward class commission report.
Right. Disha, thanks for joining us. Let's also tell our viewers here that the government had received the report on the 15th of November and it was placed before the cabinet on the 18th for approval. The Maratha community makes up for 30% of the state's population, and this has been a demand for a very long time. Mandar Fanse also joining us on the phone line. Mandar is live with us right now on the story. Mandar, violent protests were initiated in the month of July and August this year. And we saw, that really build momentum. And now finally the government of Maharashtra has conceded. To what extent do you think this could satisfy those who have been pressing for Maratha reservation for a long time?
As of now, the situation is really precarious because the Maratha organizations who were already working on these particular demands for a pretty long time right now, almost 2 years, and in the intervening time when the government has completed its exercise of doing a great deal of survey with the Backward Class Commission, when the commission has come up with certain recommendations of dubbing Maratha society, especially from Maharashtra, as socially and educationally backward, and therefore they are liable for the reservations which they are demanding. But in the meanwhile, most of the Maratha organizations and the leaders, they are also having difference of opinions whether they should get it away from the OBC existing quota, or the OBC existing quota should be increased. So that is what is one of the important thing. Apart from that, the clarity from the state government is needed to be there, because the ongoing winter session of the assembly will get over in another 1 day's time, and therefore the situation is really very delicate as of now in the state of Maharashtra, and there are some arrests also where most of the leaders from other organizations who were threatening for some kind of a violent resistance, and therefore right now the situation is really delicate on the ground in Maharashtra.
Right. So it's delicate because, like you said, the government wants to provide reservations under a new category, which is socially and educationally backward class, which is again distinct from the SC, ST and the other backward class categories. So all those finer details will have to be worked out. Mandar, stay on with us. We're coming back to you for more updates.